After playing an ungodly amount of Hades 2 on stream the other day, I decided just to boot up the r/Overwatch Reddit just to kind of see what was going on. I was looking to try and make a video very quickly before I left for the weekend of Mother's Day, and I actually think there were a couple interesting topics in here, even though I only go over a couple of questions. I do think there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, if you like this video, please do all that good YouTube stuff at the end of it. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Why does the team with more time defend first in overtime? It seems to me that the advantage in overtime is to defend second. Knowing where you need to defend is better than knowing where you need to advance, because you have the longer walk as a defender. You can stall a specific area with one person, which almost encourages having less time remaining if it's close. So why does the team with more time defend first in overtime? I think the simple reason, it's just that the team with less time attacking is less likely to set a super good time or a super far pace. And what that means is that the game ends shorter in theory. I'm honestly, like, I think it's just a game time thing. I think most teams want to defend first anyways. That's kind of like, it sets your goal, right? You're the team that have more time left, so it's going to set your goal of how far we have to get, right? Maybe we just need to cap one tick. Maybe we have to get it past a certain point, whatever. I think it sets your goal. I think most teams prefer defending first. If you ever watch an Owl game or anything like that, when they pick sides, they typically pick defense first. And also, I think it's game time stuff. Yeah, I honestly think it keeps the game shorter. But yeah. Frequent experience affiliate rank system events with extra effort in keeping you down. Tracer isn't fun anymore. I'm not trying to make a giant complaint post or anything. Does anyone else notice that in every change they make and every hero they add, Tracer feels indirectly nerfed? All the new supports either pose a massive threat to her 1v1 or can fully nullify her plays, or both. The projectile side change is especially noticeable. Every time I try to engage in a team fight, I'm shredded by projectiles not even aimed at me. I know. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'll keep going. I know that Tracer is technically good and her win rate is fine, but she simply isn't as fun to play. Basically, everyone has a way to shrug off her pulse, and there are so many things you constantly have to account for and worry about that just aren't fun to play against. Abilities like Magnetic Grenade just feel straight up unfair and demand so little of the player using them to basically get a free kill on dive DPS, and there are so many abilities that fundamentally counter Tracer that keeping track of all the necessary cooldowns during a fight feels impossible. She has so much less freedom, and her skill floor feels like it just gets higher and higher as the game gets power crept. I'm sure a lot of this is a skill issue. I know that a good Tracer player can easily avoid everything I just complained about, but I don't think I should have to be that insanely good to enjoy my favorite character. Is the fun and ease new players get from someone like Kiriko or Malga worth Tracer and other dive heroes being this difficult and unfun? That is a lot to chew on. That is a lot of things to go into. So let's go one by one. Someone else noticed a change that make every hero they add, Tracer feels indirectly nerfed by every hero they add. So let's go through backwards the heroes they've added, right? Venture. Venture sure can technically one-shot Tracer better than most of the cast. But on paper, Venture cannot keep Tracer down. Venture cannot keep up with Tracer. Tracer can chase Venture so effectively and avoid all of their damage. They have better Tracer has better effective range than Venture does, or just straight up. So I would not say Venture counters or makes it harder to play at all. Malga, I don't want to say he's eaten alive by Tracer, but big, no way to mitigate her damage. Tracer can just pepper you from afar, take your health, chunk your health bar. He can't deal with you. She doesn't have to get in his face. She's a squishy. It's hard to keep his sustain off of a squishy. Same thing. Malga basically not interacting. Ilyari used to be a bigger threat, but now with the health changes, Tracer can't get one-shot meleeed anymore. and can much more effectively get rid of her pylon and make Iliari kind of ineffective. If you can get in Iliari's face without pylon, instant win for you. And then Lifeweaver, that's the one where it's like Tracer does have trouble interacting with Lifeweaver, and you do have to account for pull. But once pull is out, you have 16 seconds to use Pulse Bomb. And, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not as bad. I see what you mean. I don't feel like it's as bad. Going further back, Ramatra can block Pulse Bomb. But again, Ramatra is this big guy who gets chunked down by Tracer. Tracer is good against a lot of heroes. I don't know if you know this. Like, a lot of heroes. Chunked down by Tracer from afar. Don't have to interact. Doesn't have to get in Rom's effective range to do damage. Or at least enough damage to make him scared. And then from there, it's the 3 that launch. So, Kiriko, yes. Suzu, yes. Kiriko used to be able to duel Tracer so effectively that you wouldn't take the duel as Tracer. No longer is that the case. It's still hard. Kiriko is probably like the biggest issue out of all of them. Sojourn can slide away pretty effectively if high ground positioning is good, but Tracer can still kind of keep up with Sojourn, although she does get one shot by rail. It is hard to deal with. JQ, kind of the same thing, but she's not as like easy as the other big bodies to chunk down, so they really don't interact as much. You don't want to get close to Queen. Those 3 I think are probably like the biggest like deterrents to Tracer. The other ones not so much. All the new supports pose massive or nullify places. The projectile change is especially noticeable every time. It is, yes, the projectile change is noticeable, but the 175 HP I feel like has done so much more to compensate for the projectile change, because not being one-tapped like glass cannon but take some of the glass away, crazy, right? That is actually insane. Like, Tracer is so much, it feels like it's easier to play without being like super hard, like killed every single time. I know the Tracer is good and win rate is fine. The win rate is good. Tracer is like a must pick. She simply isn't fun to play. I disagree. I think her power is so strong right now that it makes her fun, even if there are things that, playing around abilities, that is also what makes Overwatch fun. Like, you can't forget that part. So I think Tracer is fun to play right now. In fact, she may be the most fun she's ever been, just with how good she is and how much freedom she has. Abilities like Magnetic Grenade just feel straight up unfair. You know what? Fair. Sometimes it's really just like hit or miss whether you're going to dodge it or not. You never know what's going to happen. There are so many abilities that fundamentally counter Tracer that keep tracking all of the necessary cooldowns during a fight feeling impossible. Tracer there are abilities that counter Tracer, sure, but Tracer has all of the tools to counterplay so many of them. And if your entire team is dumping all of these resources into only you on Tracer, you have gotten so much value that you have probably not lost any fight. So if you're like able to live and everything. So yes, there are a lot of things that counter Tracer, but she has so much room to work and play around them that, like, if you're good or even decent, you have a good time, right? Like, you still are able to play around those abilities, and that feels really good on Tracer. She has so much less freedom. I disagree. I feel like she has so much more freedom. And her skill 4 feels like it gets higher and higher as the game gets power crept. I honestly feel like I have never had that much success on Tracer, but after like these changes when she was like super good, and even now still, because she is super good still, I feel like she's the easiest she's been to play so far. You have to have like a smart brain about it, and definitely mechanics. She is still a hard character, but I feel like that Tracer, especially with the new characters they added, she has gotten easier and easier and much more viable and essential. Sure, a lot of this is skill issue. Well, I know that a good Tracer player can easily avoid everything I just complained about, but I don't think I should have to be that insanely good to enjoy my favorite character. You know what? Maybe, but I feel like part of the appeal of Tracer is that high skill cap and the high everything. So yes, to an extent, I agree with you, but I feel like that is also part of where her fun derives, is that she is hard and she is that glass cannon hypermobile. Is the fun and ease new players get from... Okay, this is the thing. Is the fun and ease new players get from someone like Kiriko or Mauga worth Tracer and other dive heroes being this difficult and unfun? What's crazy here is you have two opposite, like, you've conflicted yourself on both of these character picks with your argument here, right? So let's start with Mauga first. Is the fun and ease, Mauga is easy, of new characters worth like Tracer being difficult and unfun? But Tracer is not difficult to play into Mauga, I don't think. I think it is very difficult. Either just don't interact with him or chunk his health down before he gets to a fight. Do not take a fight with him directly, right? That's it, right? The other one you said, Kiriko is not an easy character. Sure, I think Suzu gives you that power that you feel like you've done something, and you definitely have something at all levels, and I feel like that's why Kiriko is played at all levels, even though she is extremely hard. She's kind of like Ana in that sense, right? Kiriko is so hard, but yes, it does make playing Tracer a little more difficult, right? So you've hit like half of the thing on both of those heroes, but basically Tracer is really good, and it is partially a skill issue, but I think it is. You think you've exacerbated it just a little, but that's an interesting paragraph, interesting thread to go down. Should losing rank be possible when winning a game? I actually have no idea what's going on with these things. This has to be a mistake. There is no way that you would lose rank for winning a game. I cannot like fathom this actually being like a real, like an intended feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say that this has to be a bug. It may just be a visual bug too. Like this may not actually, you may not actually be losing. It may just like go into the visual system wrong and now it appears like you're losing. So what? Okay, I think this would be a good place to end it here for this very short discussion. What character, in your opinion, should be in a different role? So we all know that OW has a problem with 2A DPS characters compared to tanks and supports. Not the biggest problem in the game, but still, that's why we are getting so many new tanks and supports. But moving from OW1 to OW2, only Doom has moved from DPS to tank. Even though there are so many possibilities, what characters do you think would fit better in a different role? My takes are, Symmetra should have stayed a support character. They could just make her turrets heal teammates instead of dealing damage. And they also could keep her old primary fire that latched onto targets, but also make it heal teammates instead of doing damage. Sorry. I think she would be a great support with that kind of change. She already has good utility, and she is a med DPS anyways. I don't think healing turret... I already think healing pylon is really boring anyways. I think healing turrets are going to be really the same problem of like limiting where you can play super hard. A beam that heals but does not do damage, that's bad. Why can't it just do both? You know. Also, back to the latching on. Just remove the skill while you're at it. Like, I don't like that at all. I think there may be a world where Symmetra is a support and you keep teleporter and somehow the turrets are there, and I don't even know how they would do it. Honestly, what I would do is I would have turrets be like a boost, like a attack up, you know, but it limits where your range. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, it limits your range. You can't keep up. It might make her too defensive. I don't like trying to redo the turrets is a big thing. It's a big project that you have to think about. So I'm not even gonna like entertain it right now. But yeah, I think there's a world where Sim could be a support. I just don't like these changes. Mei should be a tank. She's already a tank disguised as DPS. Her whole kit screams tank. They don't even need to rework her. She has a few number of tweaks away from being a tank, just more HP and less damage. That's it. Maybe also make her a bit bigger somehow, enlarge her backpack, for example, to make her silhouette. I think Mei would be a really boring tank. I think Ice Wall would have to be on a lower cooldown to be able to be used in more ways, specifically for mobility, helping your team. But, like, just her primary fire, it's too boring. It'd be just another brawl tank. Like, she would need something. She would need other stuff. I don't think it's as simple as changing numbers around. Like, I legitimately do think that this character would be really boring and really behind the curve. Like, I do not see Mei being a very effective tank at the end of the day. So, yeah, I don't know. Mei could be a tank, but I feel like it's going to require a much larger rework than you've suggested here. Maybe the hottest of my takes, but I think that Fara should be a tank. Ooh, spicy. Seriously, I think that she would make a great tank on par with Doom and Ball to make her bigger, give her some armor, HP, reduce her damage, make her a bit slower, and a bit less maneuverable in the air. Less maneuverable. I don't know about that for a dive tank. Make that she needs more time on the ground to refuel and maybe replace her jet dash with some new ability that lets her make a powerful landing that would work like pile driver. After that, replace jet dash. No. You absolutely need jet dash. Fara without jet dash as a tank is a spam tank, like actually a spam tank. Oh god, I feel like you've removed so much of Fara. Like Fara needs, if she's gonna be a tank, she needs to be able to get in there and be in there. You know, Fara right now does not like to stay in there. And I think a tank Fara probably wouldn't want to be there like Doom or Ball, but she needs to be able to be there a little longer and also not have the insano stupid range the Rocket does. Like, I believe there's way more you got to do again here. A pile driver like ability like that, I think that'd be cool. The higher up you are, the more damage it does and the more effect it has. I think that'd be a cool idea. But I definitely think that a lot of this sounds way too nerf heavy and reduces Fara's playstyle that just doesn't feel like a tank to me. So yeah, I definitely don't. I don't having like another dive tank. I'm open to hearing all the suggestions, but I don't know. This last one is a reach, but still Torb support. Rework his primary fire to make it more versatile. Replace secondary fire with armor packs that heal and give teammates armor over health. Make his overload ability heal and speed up nearby teammates. Give him a new support ult and make his turret react faster and deal more damage, but cut its range so that it could deal with backline divers. I think that this would work as a support. Rework primary fire, make it more versatile. Sure, I mean, like, that's not really saying much. Replace secondary fire with armor packs that heal and give teammates more armor overhead. So old Brig Pack, we removed Brig Pack how it used to work for a reason. Giving armor to teammates is broken. Actually broken. Especially now it's going back to how old armor worked. No. Make his overload ability heal and speed up nearby teammates. That's just effectively like BAP regen burst, which is not a very... I don't like that. Like, I don't like overload, and I feel like this is still like not a very good ability. Like, Queen Shout is kind of like a different story. I guess it'd be closer to Queen Shout than it is like BAP heal. But Torb is not... Like, this kit is not an engaged tank. Like, this would be like super defensive, and it would work more like BAP ship than it does Queen. So I don't like that. I don't like this hyper defensive Torb that makes everybody unkillable. You know, there are like anti-dive supports, but they have weaknesses. And sure, I'm sure Torb would have his own weaknesses, and he doesn't have the shotgun anymore. But I don't know. I don't know about this that much. Give a new support ult. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Even Molten Core would probably be fine. I feel like that's a decent idea for a support ult, but I don't know. And make his turret react faster and deal more damage, but cut its range so you just realize, that's just like, that would make it worthless, would it not? Like, you could just shoot it from across the map and then go dive. Like, you can't even use it on an angle or anything. Like, you just have its use be one specific thing that's super easy to play around. I don't like that at all. I don't know. I'll read a couple. Oh my god, maybe I won't read a couple comments. That's a long one. I'm not gonna. Symmetra originally designed for turret damage character. Echo was going to be a support, but sometimes our ult didn't fit a support because it was too cool. She was probably going to create clones to heal others. What? I don't know about that. Sombra, the concept we saw in Mirror Watch could be a concept for a support hero. Symmetra was the first support. Edward Pride Shields, but they didn't even try to create proper shield or healer. Sombra, like Sombra support with the hacking teammates. I honestly I think there's something there. It's not. I don't know. Maybe like for another hero. I don't know. Sombra. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to go too far into this. There's not really much more, but yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with most of this. Just, you got to keep in mind, like, we want abilities to be versatile and we want them to be able to do different things. And I think a lot of these, and we want characters to be versatile too, especially if you're going to make them a tank. But yeah, a lot of these just feel a little one note and not as like thought out as, this isn't like a full thing. It's like a half a paragraph per character. But yeah, I don't know about that. All right, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Again, if you wouldn't mind doing all that good YouTube stuff, if you like that, like, comment, subscribe. It does really help me out. I would like to hear your thoughts on these topics. If you want to get in on these discussions live, that's going to be twitch.tv/Lane Hemingway. Every time I go live, I do a discussion. It's the best way to talk to me directly and get my direct feedback if that's what you're looking for. If not, the rest of my socials are in the description. I do really appreciate it, and have a good day.